back to Higurashi. I know it's been a little bit since I last, well, I guess you could say read Higurashi, but there's a reason for that. And that reason is Mass Effect, because I love Mass Effect. Mass Effect, you can't go wrong with Mass Effect, okay? You can't go wrong. Well, at least in my opinion, you can't. But yeah, let me just get everything set up in quite a quick jiffy, and yeah, and we'll get going on this. I don't know why my throat's all scratchy all of a sudden, though. It doesn't feel great. It does not feel great. But I'll live. I'll live. I'll just, like, live for, like, at least 8 minutes. You know, before I collapse and die. Anyway, let's get started in this. Damn. Last time, I can't even remember. I'm gonna find out, though. Load. Alright. Let's, continue. Hope I didn't have to read any fucking tips or anything. I guess I'd be lying if I said I didn't get any sleep. I tried to stay awake all night, but there were definitely gaps in my memory. I guess I kept nodding off and jerking awake in a panic all night. I spent all night hugging the metal bat and sat on top of the futon I used to barricade my door. Waiting. Excuse me. Watching, just in case someone tried to break in through my window. If I left this spot, someone would break through the door, sending the futon flying and attack me. But if I stopped watching the window, someone would break through the glass and attack me. I tried telling myself I was just being paranoid, but I couldn't sleep. The thought of being so vulnerable scared the living daylights out of me. If sleep meant taking that risk, I didn't need it. Shit, that's not healthy at all, man. Oh boy. Yeah, I forgot. Kaiichi here is a little bit on the fuck side of life. Just a bit. It wasn't so much better to just stay awake. At some point during the night, and that endless cycle of nodding off and jolting awake, light began to shine outside. But that was it. It wasn't so much the morning as it was just the sun simply having risen. I snuck a peek out through the curtains. Rena was gone. I couldn't see her anywhere, no matter how hard I looked. Finally, I could breathe a deep sigh of relief. The night was finally over. I gotta say, These streams are the ones that take a lot of energy out of me. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, wait a second, I forgot something. Lost and I'm found. I'm on the hunt. I'm after you. Okay, she probably has that song. Is that in Duran Duran stuck in his jammy jams? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tired, but I didn't feel like sleeping at the moment. I still had time, but I needed to make my own breakfast, so I'd better get started soon. Skipping school was also an option, but with my mom gone, be it'd be easy to play hooky. Honestly, I debated it. The risk involved in leaving my house was incalculable. You should stream this game. No, shut up, Jesse. Honestly, I debated it. The risk involved in leaving my house was incalculable. So staying holed up in here was probably my safest option. But staying here wouldn't solve anything. Onishi-san wouldn't help me without cold hard evidence. Neither he nor my parents. So unless I found some sort of proof, these relentless nights would never end. I stretched my body, tilted my head back, and closed my eyes, just like I did every morning. I regulated my breathing and regained my senses. Calm down, Kaiichi Miyabara. Let's go to school. I think I'm getting close to the end of this first chapter. By God, I hope I am. There's 3 more of these I have to do, by the way. Let's wait until they set their trap for me. But that didn't mean I was just going to twiddle my thumbs. I needed to avoid that trap and secure irrefutable evidence. Take note of the plates of any card that drives by. If I see someone suspicious, check their clothes and face. I wasn't just protecting myself, I was preparing myself to turn their attack against them and retaliate. I think you're kind of thinking a little bit too deeply in this, man. I'm just saying. Maybe it's all just like, nothing. Like, what I'm saying is, you can't suspect everyone that has a car, right? The tension was similar to when 2 samurai were both aiming to slay each other with a single motion as they drew their katanas. Oh, I see now. I was not at a disadvantage. I would have a chance to retaliate. I finally felt a bit of courage growing in my chest. Alright, let's go to school. I tightened my grip on Satoshi's bat. He was the only partner I could count on. Satoshi, please lend me your strength and entrust your dying regrets to me, since you were probably murdered. You're probably murdered. I'll make sure I dispel them. With renewed resolve, I checked the clock. It was still early. Of course, I was going to school by myself today. If I didn't want to run into Rena or Mion, I needed to leave now. Like, right now. Uh, the shattered fragments of the cupboard were still strewn all over the entryway. Yeah, I remember that. Right. I meant to clean that up last night, but never got around to it with the phone call and everything. If my parents came back and saw this while I was at school, I would never hear the end of it. Still, I'd be wasting time if I cleaned it up right now, and considering that what would happen if I ran into Rena or Mion, it wouldn't be too late to clean it up after I got back home. Making extra certain that the doors were locked, I left the house. Ooh, my uniform was still covered in mud from yesterday, so I left it in the washer. Today I was going to go to school in a tracksuit. By wearing a different outfit this morning, my mind was forced to accept that today was different from yesterday. I had a hunch. Today might be the day I get killed. Ooh. Oh, you're going to die in a tracksuit. That's a shame. Keep your guard up, Kaiichi Maebara. The only one who gets to decide if today is my last is me. True. Just smack your head over. Just smack the bat over your head. Just pop. I choose. And I choose now. Alright. Ooh, practicing your swing, huh, boy? I spent the morning practicing my swing like it was my natural routine. After a while, Rena arrived at school. Our eyes met, but we said nothing. Oh, Rena said nothing about last night. As if it never happened. But I could see that those events were real by the wounds carved into her fingers. I just heard her telling Sadako and the others that the bandages were from hurting herself in the kitchen. Though it wasn't like it bothered me. It would bother me. The details that Oishi-san shared about Rena's incident before her transfer played vividly in my mind. Now that I knew about it, I couldn't even dream of Rena as a cute, ideal girl. Her. Oh shit. Ki-chan, I see you're still aiming for the nationals. It was Mion. I had already sensed her approach, so I wasn't that surprised. Oh, Mion. If you understand. Then leave me alone. Oh, don't be a bitch. If you're trying to act natural, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. I'm busy practicing. I gave her a curt reply without my usual jokes. Then I gave the bat an even larger swing, tactically keeping Mion from getting any closer. Hey, Ki-chan, take it easy. I think Mion got the message, but she still urged me to give it a rest. Homeroom's not that far off, is it? Homeroom's not that far off, is it? Just let me finish practicing. I swung the bat even harder as a sign of my refusal. Ki-chan, when did you get into baseball? Just recently. Recently? You mean yesterday? Don't ask if you already know. Oh, God. Like, here's the thing about the story. It's compelling. It's compelling. Like, you can't really tell, is he insane? Or is the world he is in insane? You know? Oh, dear. That's a very unsportsmanlike reply. You're distracting me. Go away. I ignored Mion and kept swinging. Mion, what are you doing? Normally she'd get mad or bored and leave if someone gave her the cold shoulder like this. But Mion just stood there, waiting patiently for me to stop swinging. It seems like she has concerns about you. I didn't sense any hostility. But we were at school in plain view. I doubt she'd suddenly attack me here. What would stop her from not attacking you? Or was that too naive? There you go. Still, I was starting to get tired. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to take a break and hear her out. You need me for something, right? What was it? Sweat. Oh, God, where? Ugh. There's just a bunch of stuff coming up in my throat. That's not great. Sweat poured from me as I stopped swinging. I noticed my shoulders were heaving as I breathed. I cursed my lack of exercise. At this rate, I might not be able to move as needed when the time came. I should probably keep practicing my swings to build stamina, in addition to the excuse for carrying the bat around with me. It's kind of just creepy having a bat with you. Come on. Well, it's nothing important. If you're tired, I can ask again later. Now it's fine. I'm only dealing with you right now because I judge the situation to be safe. Talking to you alone and away from the others, that's out of the question. Well, Mion was uncharacteristically trying to choose her words. But unlike Oishi-san, it didn't look like she was going to talk about something I'd rather not hear. Mion was puzzled, trying to find the right thing to say. But then she gave a hearty laugh to break herself out of that mire. This old man's just no good at this stuff. Having a poor vocabulary hurts. What's this all of a sudden? If you're having something to say, just say it. Stop it. Stop that swinging. She cut straight to the point. Her request was so frank, I didn't understand it for a moment. I had already stopped swinging to listen to her, hadn't I? I just stopped, didn't I? That's not what I meant. I want today to be the last day you swing that bat. I'm sorry. It took me some time to understand what she was asking for. What's wrong with swinging a bat? Why? It's none of your business, is it? You see, you're kind of being a bitch when you say that, though. I'm not bothering anyone, am I? You are. Mion said it flat out. This didn't make any sense, and that was really irritating. Well, this is interesting. Because it does make sense. You are irritating. You're kind of scaring people. When did I bother anybody? Mion was at last words, but she finally made up her mind and spoke, though she stuttered as she said it. Because Ch.1, that's someone else's bat. You shouldn't borrow it without permission. It was left behind by a student who transferred, right? I'm just borrowing it until he comes back for it. I'm just borrowing it until he comes back for it. Yeah, he transferred. She grew characteristically flustered. That made it all too clear that his transfer was a lie. But strange, isn't it? For the older brother to transfer by himself, while his little sister stayed behind. Mion couldn't hide her reaction as my words shook her up. Ch.1, you knew? Satoshi Hojo. Sadako's older brother, right? The one demoned away last year? Unable to respond to that, Mion fell silent. Rena asked the same thing. Why did you start swinging that bat? She told me Satoshi did the same thing, practicing his swings, right before he went missing. So, is it some kind of omen for Orishiro-sama's curse? Shh. Mion panicked and looked around. Please, Ch.1, don't mention Orishiro-sama so recklessly. I don't believe in him, but the others very much do. Brenda especially. Dangerously so. Anyway, you're scaring everyone. If you're just fooling around, then stop it. You have to stop acting like Satoshi. I was the one who was scared. Who do I have to thank for taking up this bat in the first place? But it still unsettled me like that. My reactions were overlapping Satoshi's. I think I just have fluid in my lungs or something. I'm not sure. That's not a good thing. It would be one thing if someone suggested it, but I thought I was making my own decisions. I'll say this now. I don't know anything about Satoshi. After all, you didn't tell me anything about him. What? You didn't mean to hide it. You were hiding the incidents that happened every year, weren't you? That's because we didn't want to, You didn't want to scare me? And that's your reason for leaving me out? No, we didn't mean to. Mion, I asked you directly if something happened at the dam, didn't I? And you told me nothing happened. When someone was dismembered and murdered. You lied to me. You lied to me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie to you. Friends don't hide things from each other, right? Isn't that right? Then you all aren't my friends. I feel like okay, you just being a bit of a bitch. I'm just saying, being a little bit of a bitch. Ch.1, Mion looked helpless and flustered. I was imagining the tears in her eyes. Was I imagining the tears in her eyes? I never could have imagined Mion acting like this. What, you fucking think she is, a robot? Beep boop. Oh, by the way, the get well mochi you brought me the other day. Good, I thought I was going... They were good. I thought I was going to bleed. Who did it? You or Brenna? Me. She admitted it so easily. I couldn't help but be surprised at how easy that was. You could have killed me. How could you do that to a friend? But it was a little prank. You don't put fucking needles in Moochie. Mio gave me a whirly mix, a wry smile. It's rye, right? Rye. A wry smile, whatever. It gave me a smile mixed with confusion, causing even more anger to well up inside me. You think that was a prank? It was just a prank, bro. Bro, it's just a prank. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I grabbed Mion by the collar and lifted her. Whoa, you're getting a little physical there, buddy. That wasn't the same as putting Tabasco sauce in a piece of moochie. It was a needle. A sewing needle. If I had swallowed that, it lodged in my throat. What did she think would happen? Mion's face froze as her body rattled in fear. This wasn't Mion Sansaki. I knew anymore. Anyways, you're not my friend. There's no reason for me to listen to someone who's not my friend. You're Ooh. So just leave me alone for a while. Got it. Mion wasn't replying anymore. It wasn't... Oh, fuck. It won't be that easy to erase me, you know. The cops have been out to you for the start. So don't think you can make me disappear like you did Satoshi. I said it clearly. This was my declaration of war. I think you guys are suspects in the previous instance too. I also know you've spent a lot of time with the cops ever since the anti-dam movement. Don't think you can hide it from me. Got that? How did you know? Mion stood there with a dumbstruck look on her face. It's getting fucking hot in here, boy. Oh shit. Very interesting. That was when I heard the principal ring the bell for school. It was time for morning homeroom. Let's go. The class representative needs to be there, right? Fucking Christ. At that moment, for the first time, I realized Mion was sobbing as tears ran down her cheeks. You're so mean, Ki-chan. I wanted to console her, but I shut my mouth. I had no need to feel guilty. I'm going. Don't be late for homeroom. I left Mion still shaking as I turned around to head for the entrance. I had no idea how troubling it was to make a girl cry. Behind my back, I could hear her muttering. It was a faint muttering, as she was speaking to herself. Why should I feel bad? You fucking asshole, Kichan. So that's how it is. Huh? She wasn't saying it to anyone. It was Mio talking to herself. But it was a sobbing voice that had a kind of a giddy, cursed tone. Giddy, cursing tone. There you go. I ignorantly stopped and turned back towards her. So it was that bastard. He leaked it all to Ki-chan. She balled up her fists as her tears continued to rain down. She glared at a spot in the ground with a terrifying yet smiling face, cursing. A chill ran down my spine from that demonic expression. This transformation, Mion's transformation, was different from Rena's. I should have killed him back then. He forgot the mercy I showed him just because he was going to retire this year. Retiring this year? Was she talking about Oishi-san? Damn it. I'm going to kill that damn old man. It felt like the air itself has begun to distort. Hey, bruv! Hey! Look, man, it's Higurashi! You miss it? Oh, I'm pretty sure we're getting close to the end of this. With Mion at the center of the world, had begun to twist and swirl, bending, whirling. This was the first time I'd experience such a visage. Rise! Attention! Mion made up an excuse for her red eyes by saying there was something wrong with her contacts. Oh, she wears contacts. Okay. After that, neither Rena nor Mion spoke to me for the rest of the day. Nor Sadako, nor Rena-chan looked at me in the eye. Strangely, I didn't feel hurt. Everything had just went back to the way it was. The month since I transferred in had been almost too much fun. That was all. School was supposed to be something like this to begin with. I should have disliked that feeling, but today it felt oddly refreshing. Man, I miss these crazy bitches. Yeah, you do. And shit's about to go crazier. I have a hunch in my Brady Bunch. The bell rung, sounding the end of the monotonous school day. Monotonous. There's a lot of O's and N's in that in that word. Which had felt so tense, yet so dull, since it would cause a lot of unpleasant memories. If they asked me to join in to the club activities, I'd promptly start preparing to go home without even looking at them. I stuffed the contents of my desk into my bag, wrapped my hand around Satoshi's now familiar bat, and began heading towards the entrance. If anything, shouldn't that go to Sadako? Shouldn't you just give that to Sadako? Because that's Sadako's bat. That's Satoshi's bat. Sadako's older brother, you know. I was assailed by both the exhausting relief that nothing had happened today and the tiring possibility of the same thing repeating tomorrow. But deep down inside me, far beneath in the recesses of my heart, achingly I knew this would be the last day of this cycle. I couldn't tell how the ending would be, whether it would end as I wished it to end, or if it would end as I hope it wouldn't. Regardless, in my current state, there was something more important than how things would end. There was something I wanted to know. Got a hunchback, big than Quasimodo. Good work. Good sentence structure, bruv. What am I saying? I shouldn't be talking. I trip over my tongue like every 2 sentences. Why did I have to be killed? How did it come to this? Why? For what purpose? The sunlight was relentless. The sun, the heat, even the air. They wouldn't give me my answers. Or could it be that the cries of the Higurashi were desperately telling me something? Somewhere mixed in with their shrieks, Tamatake-san and Tatoshi were also probably trying to tell me something. I simply haven't been able to realize it yet. When I do realize it, I wonder if I'll be amongst the Higurashi, fruitlessly crying to the next victim. I just woke up. Fuck off. No, fuck you. Wait, what time is it? Because it's like 12:30 here. It's a Monday. 12:30. Brav. What do you do? I'm joking, do you, boy? Do you? Sorry about that. Glancing down at my feet. Oh, so what? You woke up at 1? You slept through half the day? Who am I to judge? I do the same shit. Glancing down at my feet, I saw a Higurashi on its back, spasming weakly. Boy, boy, boy. There was still much of the summer left, yet this one had already chirping its last song. Couldn't tell what it was saying, no matter how hard I listened. But I had to try. I had to try to listen to what it was desperately trying to tell me. At that moment, the shrill of the Higurashi ceased, all at once, as if they had huddled together, fearing that the person who'd brought them to their dreadful fate had arrived. There was no mistaking it. A presence was approaching. The sound of footsteps was almost non-existent. If the Higurashi hadn't warned me by ending their chirping, I wouldn't have noticed. My exhaustion left me in a heartbeat. In its place was a rush of adrenaline that sharpened all of my senses. I was just barely able to hold back that creeping, suffocating feeling of horror. It wasn't something I couldn't hold back for long, but in this moment, when I needed to be razor sharp, I was able to retain my composure. I wasn't going to shout like I did yesterday. I hid myself calmly amongst the trees, waiting for my pursuer's shadow. I could get them to pass by me. No, since I was able to hear their footsteps, they were probably also able to hear mine. They might have already been able to tell that I'd hidden myself and was holding my breath. And the person tailing me, was it Rena? Just like yesterday? If it was Rena, I wouldn't hold back. I could just yell at her and make her go ahead like yesterday. If it wasn't Rena, it would depend on how they acted, I guess. The footsteps settled closer. I swallowed, wiped my clammy hands on my pants, and readjusted the grip on the bat. I could tell that the fear that I had beaten back once was now waiting for another opening to come at me. Who could it be? Who could it be now? Who could it be now? Sorry. I peeked out from behind the tree at the person following me. My imagination hadn't led me astray. It was Rena. There was a bit of a relief as I realized it was someone I knew, but the feeling left me in an instant. It wasn't the same Rena that I knew. Oh! Her eyes were dark and lifeless, but her mouth appeared as if it was carved into a crescent. Yes, it looked like she was grinning slightly. And in her right hand was an axe. I hid myself behind the tree once again and recalled the unbelievable sight I saw. What was that just now? The embodiment of terror lay bare. Baseball, practicing my swing, there were tons of excuses for me to be carrying a bat. Fuck you, no there isn't. But for that axe, she's going to cut down some wood. Shove it in the oven. She needs to keep her house warm, so she has to cut down some logs. There was no excuse for that. Axe, just like that. Kaiichi-kun, are you playing hide and seek? I wonder. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. My heart was pounding. Hard enough that I had trouble breathing. What little composure I had been able to hold on to was now crushed. In its place, cold sweat gushed forth, covering my entire body, letting me know precisely what kind of emotion had taken hold. Not good, not good, not good. I wasn't able to hide myself completely. She already knew I was here.
Were you trying to scare me? I wonder.
I decided that it would be better to reveal myself now, since there was still space between us, than to allow Rena to come any closer. I adjusted my grip on the bat again, readied myself mentally, and stepped out from behind the tree.
I found you, Kaiji-kun.
Rena was pleased that she found me. Exhalating in a mysterious giggle. Rena the lumberjack. Wait, she doesn't have an axe. It's the sprite. Imagine there's an axe. There's only like 10 sprites for each character, dude. And I'm betting there's like only one scene where she has an axe. So, give this graphic novel some credit. Her mouth was smiling, but her eyes told me she was displeased by the fact that I had been hiding. Those eyes, they were just so empty. My eggs began to quiver. Oh, not good. No, no bueno. Anyway, in the pit of my stomach, some sort of vicious, hot, and cold substance began spreading around. If I allowed it, the substance would slip into my bloodstream and undoubtedly freeze all the organs in my body. Don't know what that liquid is. Is it called fear? Not good, not good. I bet Fat Hand Rena would. Well, let's see if Fat Hand Rena, Balloon Fist Rena, does she have an axe? No. Actually, she looks a lot less intimidating. See? Boulder fingered Rena did not have any axes. Not good, not good. I'll be devoured by Rena at this rate. Would that be so bad? Strike back. Don't lose. What is it? I blurted, hiding behind my bravado. But Rena didn't flinch one bit.
Just the same as Kaiji-kun. I'm heading home.
Then what about that axe?
Then what about that bat you're holding?
I'm practicing my swing.
I'm treasure hunting.
And you need the handy dandy axe of finding to find treasure. Don't you know? Don't you know? Rena gave a flippant explanation as why she had such a fearsome weapon. Treasure hunting.
At the treasure mountain near the dam site, I found a new Caillou thing. So I need this to dig it out. How could I believe that? You wouldn't believe it, would you?
Oh, because it's kind of hard to. It's not like underground. It's under a pile of rubble, like trash. They're at a trash site, basically. People did illegal dumping, and she's using that area to find it. My dog is barking a lot, like a lot. Oh, it's the mailman, because I just heard the mailbox just close. I can hear everything from my fucking room.
You wouldn't believe it, would you?
Rena's laugh was obviously very strange. I'd seen Rena's transformation many times before, but still an axe isn't best moving trash tool. You haven't seen the trash she has to move. She has to break it. She has to break it to get to the good stuff. Such as a Colonel Sanders statue, which is something that happened. She had to break through some lumber to get to that bitch. I'd seen Rena's transformation many times before, but the one today was completely different. Like her mischievous tone and shrewd glint in her eyes. It wasn't something that round about. I'm not sure what to say. It was just so obvious. The accent's pissing you off, so you're just going to shut up about it. I'm not against that.
Wait, Kaiichi-kun!
Rena didn't stop walking, even as she let out that eerie laugh. Whenever Rena got too close to me, I would scurry away and turn back towards her. This cycle repeated over and over. No matter how you looked at it, I was being chased by Rena and was trying to escape. Don't follow me!
I can't do that.
My house is in the same... My house is in the same way after all. When I met Rena on this road yesterday, she cowered and trembled as she followed my commands. But today was different. Rena didn't show a hint of trepidation. Actually, wasn't I the one who was cowering? If the way home for Rena and me was the same, that's fine. I'd just change my route. That'd work out, wouldn't it? I turned onto a side street I'd never been down and knew a little about. But Rena saw me do that and followed me while laughing. Why? Why aren't you going home? Then just go down the street. Just go home down the street you normally do. Why would you follow me down this weird little side road? Those thoughts screamed in my head, eventually spilling out of my mouth. Why are you following me? The tone of my voice was already tinged with terror.
Because I want to talk to you, Kaiichi-kun. Kaiichi-kun wants to talk to Rena too, doesn't he? Doesn't he?
I don't want to talk anymore with you. Talk about anything with you.
That's a lie, isn't it? There's something you want to ask me about. It doesn't it there?
Not at all. I have nothing to talk to you about.
That's a lie, isn't it?
It's not a lie. Lies! I think I scared my dog with that one. Rena's scream echoed, startling some nearby birds into flight. I cringed in fear. The only other thing I could do was increase my pace.
Let's talk, Kaiichi-kun. Talk, talk, talk.
Why was I running down this unfamiliar, deserted street?
Doesn't Kaiichi-kun have something he's worried about?
Nothing at all. I am not worried about anything.
Lies!
That lady is holding an axe. Figure out something to talk about. Even though I was running, even though Rena was walking, why wasn't I getting any farther away? I know,
Yo, I really do know. You're scared, aren't you, Kaiichi-kun?
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of anything.
Lies!
And she's like, wait, dude, I know for certain you're older than fucking Rena. Don't call her a lady. She is prominently, I think she's like 15. I want to say 15 or 16. Because I know Kaiichi's 16. So, there. My breathing grew heavy, and it felt like my legs were giving out from beneath me. Man, you are out of shape, boy. Rena wasn't even breaking a sweat. I'll listen. This time, I'll listen. I had no idea what she was talking about, or what exactly she wanted to do.
This time, I'll listen. It will be different from the time Satoshi-kun.
When she said Satoshi's name, I turned back for a moment. But even as I did, Rena was still advancing. I couldn't afford to stop.
Satoshi-kun was worried too. It looked like he was having such a hard time. But I didn't listen. I was so sad.
Where did this street connect to? You should have taken that left turn on Albuquerque, brother. It was bad. It was a bad thing you did there. All these twists and turns, ups and downs. It was hard to believe that this was even remotely in the direction towards my house. My senses of direction had long since gone out of the window. I really regretted it
When Satoshi-kun transferred out. I thought that if I had listened, he may not have transferred out. I really regretted that.
Oh, by the way, Brav, how am I sounding? Good? Bad? Let me know. The road led me deeper into the forest. Wasn't I getting farther away from the village? The more I ran, I lost more and more of my composure the more I thought about it. But despite the realization, my inner self was still disturbingly calm.
So you see, I vowed that if there was someone struggling like Satoshi-kun, that I'd save them.
I don't want...
To see anyone transfer out again.
Damn it! Yo, man. Man, yo guy is a pussy. He has a bat and isn't swinging at Rena. Like, it will take a few secs for her to lift the axe. And yeah, you see, and you sound okay. Okay, cool. And yes, you are very correct. Kaiichi is kind of thinking, not not much of sense, really. He's kind of, if you think about it, he's kind of thinking in a disoriented way, don't you think? And stuff's not making quite much sense, huh? There might be some demon bullshit involved, or it's a conspiracy. So, by the way, there's two options here. Two possibilities of what's going on in front of here. One, she's crazy. Or two, she's possessed by a demon. But there's that third secret option way back there that's kind of been screaming, like for like the past couple chapters, saying that Kaiichi's crazy. So, three possibilities, kind of leaning towards that guy screaming over there, saying he is fucking bullshit insane. Damn it! What does transfer even mean? I won't let you transfer me. I won't end up the same as Satoshi.
Come on, Kaiichi-kun, talk to me. I'll be able to understand you, Kaiichi-kun. I'm your ally.
I started wheezing out of breath. The lungs were so hot that they felt like they were going to explode. And my heart was beating as hard as it possibly could. But yeah, Kaiichi's being a little bit of a... really is restraining himself quite a bit, even though he thinks this girl's going to kill him. Even though he thinks the whole town's going to kill him. He's being really, really restrained. He's restraining himself from fear. And just telling him to run. I should have practiced running instead of my swing. Yeah, you fucking pussy. I couldn't even afford to scoff at that stupid thought.
If Kaiichi-kun doesn't have anything to worry about, he'll go back to normal. Everyone will be back to being friends, and we can enjoy club activities again. Next time, we'll team up and beat Mi-chan.
It's a lot of ha's, by the way. It's a long laugh. Yeah, how much fun would that be? Rena couldn't even imagine how much I'm already tired. I didn't even start reading that long ago. Rena couldn't even imagine how much I wished I could turn back the clock on these past few days. God, my eyes. They teared up and now it's burning. Why do tears burn?
You could be nice to me again, too. I want to go searching for treasure again. This time I'll prepare a nice lunch. Actually, we could just go right now. Let's go up to the dam site together. I'll show you the cute thing I just found.
Yeah, acid tears. I melt bars with my tears. Much like acid rain, I got acid tears.
I'm sure you'll like it too.
So I'm thinking he's crazy and he's actually just kind of... His mind is warping into something malicious. It's really just her being like, come on, Kaiichi, let's just chill out, okay? My footsteps made pathetic flapping sounds as my legs wobbled and fluttered. The hot on my heels Rena steps were sharply breaking twigs underfoot. I had to accept it. I was on the run, being chased by Rena. If she caught me, it was all over. I realized it instinctively. I couldn't even begin to think of what the end would entail. Just that I was caught. It was all over. That's all I knew. It didn't matter how I was going to end. I wouldn't let it end. Not without knowing anything. Not yet. That momentary lapse was all it took. All of the things that could have happened. My knees buckled underneath me, and I crumbled towards the ground. I tried to stand frantically, urging my legs to respond. I used my bat as a makeshift cane to prop myself up, but Rena was already standing right in front of me. Compared to me, out of breath and utterly exhausted, Rena was so cool and composed that she could have froze the air around her. She wasn't breathing hard at all. Rather, I couldn't even sense if her heart was beating. Alright, have fun eating breakfast, bruv.
Are you afraid of something, I wonder? It's not like you to tremble, Kaiichi-kun.
Her expression looked almost affectionate. Those soulless eyes, that mask of affection. Oh shit, everything just went black and white. Or like muted at least. Maybe Sapipia? Sapepia? Whatever. As her as she admonished me for trembling, Rena's hands definitely slipped over her head. Oh fuck. The arms, the blur of arms as they moved made me feel as if I was staring at the godliness of staring at the godliness of the thousand-armed Buddha. Buddha walking everywhere. Oh fuck, everything's all red. Both of her hands met above her head. The axe she held came into focus. I stared up in disbelief. It was all I could do to tell me. What happened to Satoshi? Rena stayed like that, with that axe raised above her head, and solemnly opened her mouth. It was as if she was expressing a farewell to a friend she was never to see again. That cruel scenario resided somewhere in her actions.
I told you. Satoshi-kun transferred out.
Enough of the transfer crap. It means demon away, doesn't it? Doesn't it? You can tell me now, can't you? Who made Satoshi disappear? Was it you? Neon? Was it someone else in the village? Answer me! I became frantic the more I screamed, but Rana did nothing but maintain the smile frozen on her face.
I have no idea what Kaiji-kun is talking about.
Then I'll say it in a way so you do. Who is the perpetrator of this chain of mysterious deaths?
You seem to be confused, Kaiji-kun.
What?
There is no human perpetrator. Everything is by Shiro-sama's will.
Isn't Shiro-sama's curse just superstition? You believe in that too.
It's not about believing or not. Shiro-sama exists. Period.
Rena's gaze grew more glid. The ferocity in her stare was so intense, not allowing me to question anything.
There's just no way that something like Shiro-sama could exist. You don't believe in Shiro-sama?
There's no way I could believe it. There's no way it could exist.
It exists. Shiro-sama exists. Kaiji-kun should have felt it personally.
I never felt something like that.
Kaiji-kun, hadn't you felt someone apologizing to you before? Constantly on top of that?
All noise from the outside world disappeared. Only Rena's voice resounded loudly and terribly.
You see, until you forgive them, they'll always be with you. At school, at home, at your bedside.
Fuck.
I couldn't
understand what Rena was saying.
It came to me too. Shiro-sama did. That's why I transferred and came back to Hinazawa.
I don't understand. What does transfer even mean? What was Rena saying?
Hasn't Shiro-sama come to you as well, Kaiji-kun? I'm probably the only one who you can confide in. I wouldn't let you transfer out, okay?
Rena's demented laughter clanged around inside my head. Was Rena saying Shiro-sama came to her as well? That's right. Last night I had heard about that when I asked about Rena. Oh, fuck. Old man voice time. Please keep this confidential. Also, part of this may be speculation. None of it may be true. Are you sure you're interested? Oishi-san began speaking. Neither the victims nor the school filed a complaint, so there's no preliminary report. Basically, the police hadn't intervened in this matter. So all these details are just what I heard from those involved. Meaning this is not that credible. You said there were victims? Didn't Rena just break all the windows? No, Rena Ryugu had attacked 3 boys using a metal bat. 2 of them made it out with only bruises, but the other had been injured so badly that one of his eyes was permanently damaged. Wouldn't that be considered assault? Shouldn't the police have arrested her? For whatever reason, the victor hadn't pressed charges. There was no report to the police, so they were beaten with a bat and suffered significant injuries. Normally, there would be a criminal investigation. But why didn't they press charges? I tried asking the 3 male victims for their side of the story, but they all were reluctant. It's hard to say, but they were all afraid. Oh, shit. Yep. Sorry about that. It's hard to say, but they were all afraid, even after she had transferred schools. Oishi-san, could you summarize it, starting from the beginning? Rena hit people while she broke the windows? Or was it she started breaking the windows after she got bored of hitting people? They sound similar, but the meanings were drastically different. It's undisclosed. On an undisclosed date, Rena Ryugu was conversing with 3 male students, close friends of hers, near the pool storage shed. Who were those 3? I couldn't reveal their names, but they were close to Rena Ryugu, and it seems that they were a group of friends. She was the lone girl in their group. So, it wasn't that strange that the 4 of them were together. So what happened? I don't know the reason why. She took the baseball team's bat that was in the pool storage shed and beat 3 of them down, one after the other. What? There were no witnesses. This was an account pieced together by information given at the time of the incident. Hold on 1 minute, I gotta open up a window. This was an account pieced together by the information given at the time of the incident. One day after school, Rena and 3 male students were at the pool storage shed, talking to each other. Talking together, whatever. They weren't seeking help. Rather, they usually met up there. It appears it became a heated discussion. At that point, Rena underwent a change. The change was so abrupt that the 3 of them didn't comprehend what was happening. Then, taking the metal bat, she attacked her friends, one after the other. Leaving her friends covered in blood and with gashes on their heads. She made her way towards the school building. Then she broke the glass windows one after the other. A few minutes later, a teacher appeared on the scene and subdued her. That was the change Rena underwent? That matches up with the statement from the 3 was a sudden change. Oh, fuck. The point that there was a transformation. Transformation? I could recall Rena's transformation. I'd seen that change many times before. It was so different from the usual Rena that I couldn't help but believe it was someone else. Who looked like Rena. Transformation they're talking about. Had it happened before? No. There was nothing like that. As far as I could find out, she was in her medical history in past, there was nothing like that. Does it happen often? Or do people change suddenly like Rena did? Of course it does. There's plenty of psychological phenomena that could cause something like that. Then you're saying that there's a dormant element in Rena that caused that transformation. I cannot say that for certain, but that's most likely the reason. Like, honestly, it's a lot more likely than a fucking crazy ghost monster. I mean, a god of orcs, what was it? Like, ogres? Demons or something? A demon. But, according to the statements of her friends, it's hard to believe she had such a side to her. Kind, caring, and adorable. Yeah. Even before she transferred here, she was pretty popular in the school. She was in school like she was now. The girl transforming suddenly and assaulting them with a bat. Who could imagine such a thing? Nobody could have seen it coming. I myself sometimes believe that I was mistaken for thinking that Rena was even now. Then what happened after that? There was a hospital right across from the school, so the 3 of them were carried in and treated quickly. Right across? That seems kind of weird. What happened? Oh, what about Rena? What about the police? Why wasn't there a criminal investigation? You see, the police can't get involved unless they are called. Well, bullshit! Even though one was badly injured, of permanent damage. The fucking hospital would have called. Unless they just straight up lied. Why didn't they have filed charges? That's what caught my attention as well. Either some threat or pressure was placed on them, or they had a reason why they couldn't file charges, even if they wanted to. We're talking about you, after all. Of course you looked into it, didn't you? Well, yeah. But I told you at the beginning, didn't I, that the victims were all very reluctant to talk. They didn't want to touch on the matter. Or rather, they didn't want to be involved. Reluctant to talk. Let's see, I got a foot on this thing. What the fuck? There's like I think some of my hair was stuck on my mic. It was bothering me. Reluctant to talk. Didn't want to touch it. Didn't want to be involved. It resembles the villagers here and or Shiro-sama's curse. Did the teacher at the school tell you anything? A school is a hallowed ground. Bullshit! You could say that they tend to keep scandals under wraps. I didn't have a search warrant, so I had to tread lightly, you see. Then there was no comment from the school. No. They denied the incident even happening. It's just 3 male students were carried in for blunt force trauma that day. That's all there was in the fucking hospital records. The victims didn't speak. The school denied it happened. Then you don't know anything at all. Yeah. I know nothing other than the incident itself. Oh, we gotta kind of skip all to that, couldn't we? Itself taking place. Victims also wish this incident to be kept from the public. So if you and I both forget about it, Maybara, then this incident will probably just fade away. For a brief period, we sat in silence. At first glance, I looked like a simple assault case. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. The depth were obscured by roiling waves sinking quietly into the void, as if it never existed to begin with. After that, she was suspended by the school, and during that time, she underwent psychiatric counseling. Did you hear anything from the doctor? Again, they were very professional in regards to their ethics. I can't believe I'm going to skip this because we already read this. Yeah, we already read this shit. Come on. Or zero, yeah. She spoke with her mother and their... Well, maybe this is different. There was for some of it, but partway through her mother was asked to leave, so it became private counseling session between just a doctor and Rena for a while. Yeah, that sounds familiar. And part of Oishiro-sama, when did that pop up? Partway through. She screamed the name suddenly. And that startled the nurse, and that's why she started listening in. We done? It was Oishiro-sama. Rena suddenly shouted that. I had no idea that what was said before that, so I had no idea what the meaning behind it could have been. The doctor calmly and collectedly asked Rena to have a seat. What is Oishiro-sama you speak of? Gently, ever so gently. The fundamentals of counseling were believing that you were told what you were told. Whoever abandons Himizawa will be hunted down by Oishiro-sama. And they've finally gotten to me. That's the town you lived in before you moved here, isn't that right, Ryu-san? I didn't want to move, but because my mom and dad circumstances, we had to. But Oishiro-sama wouldn't allow it. Ryuga-san must have lots of friends in Himizawa. Even now you must be missing them, clearly. Not missing them dearly, don't you think? I want to go back. Back to Himizawa. No, it's not that I want to go back. I have to go back. I should have gone back much sooner. Ugh. Ow. Ow. Things hurt. Life hurts. But now, it's too late. Oishiro-sama has come. Oishiro-sama is the name of the god in Himizawa, isn't that right? Everyone knows it's Himizawa's guardian deity. And if you ever try abandoning Himizawa by leaving, you will incur his wrath. You have moved quite a while ago, didn't you? Then it was just now that this god had arrived. It's what you're saying. You might not believe Oishiro-sama exists. What? Well, you might not believe me about Oishiro-sama exists. Okay, good. That's what I thought it said. That nurse suddenly asked by another nurse to do something and left the room. That was all she remembered. That it was Oishiro-sama's doing, right? I do believe that there's some kind of superstition in Himizawa. This is like fucking Christ. I pretty much remember this shit. In the village and encouraged in the sin and the death. Sadako's parents, supporters, and can we just go to the present? We already know this shit. We already know this. Okay, I kind of found a flaw. Far from Jupiter, far from his thunder, curses weren't something to chase after people that leave where they. I kind of want this part to be over. We done here? The villagers at the foot. Go to the present. Go to the present. Go to the present. Go to the present. we already fucking know this. But in reality, the big deal of it all, most of their person dying or disappeared. Fucking Christ. Well, anyways, there's no, there's shit. Come on. Of course, I didn't want to believe it. There we go. Fuck. The whole fucking thing was useless. Okay. But more importantly, I had just realized something else. There was another bizarre connection that Rena made between Orishiro-sama's curse and metal bats. Satoshi fell victim to Orishiro-sama's curse and went missing. I was recently learned that Satoshi had also become infatuated with the metal bat right before he disappeared, just like me. Then Rena was well. So it's just more like just moving. Okay. She confessed to the doctor and the weapon which he used at the time was a horrendous act. Was again a metal bat. And finally me. I encountered various things that were inexplicable, and now I was holding onto a metal bat. I was shocked when I learned that Satoshi... Fuck, I dropped my phone. Good job, chat. I was shocked when I learned Satoshi did the same thing. It couldn't be. Had the same thing happened to Rena. But there was one critical difference between her and Satoshi's case. That being, Satoshi went missing after falling victim to the curse. But Rena was still here. Both of them had fallen victim to Orishiro-sama's curse, yet they were met with different endings. And finally me. I couldn't call the coincidences anymore. Rena, Satoshi, and finally me. Could it be that I really had fallen under Orishiro-sama's curse right now? No. More importantly than that, what should I do now? Satoshi had been demoned away, vanishing without a trace. Rena was fine. Fine? Rena had undergone a change. I only believe that there was something that wasn't Rena residing within her. And here, right now, it was staying in front, it was staying before me. Rena, please tell me. What will happen to me? Rena stood imposingly, not answering. Satoshi disappeared. But
Satoshi disappeared, but Rena didn't disappear.
So,
What happened to me?
I had never heard such an unpleasant laugh before. It had become akin to the sound of her breathing. It was no longer a voice or an expression of feeling.
Don't worry, I'll save you.
Rena took one step forward, still holding the axe high above her head. Now then, one step closer, Rena's face spread out to fill my vision.
Speak.
One step closer. Rena's nose was close enough to touch mine and was still pushing closer.
There's something you want to say, isn't there? I'll listen. I'll save you, okay? Speak, okay? Speak, okay? I slumped down, landing squarely on my butt. It wasn't for It wasn't for some pathetic reason. It was all I could do to get as far as away from Rena. I'm not doing the whole thing. That was a lot of laughter. That was a long laughter. I was getting the gut feeling that I hadn't let her laughter end. Because when that laughing ended, the moment I picked up on that feeling, my body moved by instinct. I sprang to my feet so fast that even I couldn't believe it and pushed Rena away both hands. Rena was light as a feather, thrown about by the unbalanced weight of an axe. She was sent backwards as if she had been carried off by the wind. After confirming that out of the corner of my eye, I dashed off at full speed. Oh, I was the perfect picture of fleeing like a greased pig. Get away from Rena. Run away. Survive. I couldn't think of anything other than this. While I was running, I remembered I'd been holding onto the bed the entire time. Such a worthless weapon. Yeah, I couldn't believe I'd forgotten about this weapon at such an important time. I sped even farther down the winding path. I didn't even feel myself gasping for breath or legs getting heavy. My body understood it as well. If I didn't run away from here, I wouldn't live. I would hear the laughter of the simulacrum of Rena coming from behind me. It rang through the trees and in my head and slowly chiseled away at my sanity. The groove of trees thinned out, my field of vision suddenly expanding. Where was this? For a moment I was bewildered by the scenery. I felt I knew, but I couldn't quite remember. I quickly realized it was a dance site. The fact that I dashed madly and ended up in a place like this gave me a bad feeling, like I was following someone's scripted plot. I had a good view of my surroundings, but I didn't see a single soul out here. Oh, I'm a single soul. Hi. This was a terrible spot for someone on the run, but there was no better place for an attacker. My heart was already on the verge of bursting. The muscles in my legs were screaming, but I didn't care. If I stopped here, then they might not even be able to scream for much longer. Even still, I glanced back, looking for... I adjust my screen there, sorry. Even still, I glanced back, looking for an excuse to rest. Rena wasn't there. Instead, I saw two villagers walking around. I breathed a sigh of relief that it wasn't Rena, but a third party. Except the voice inside me rang the alarm once again. The villagers walking around weren't suspicious in themselves, but it bothered me.
They both were rough looking. They both wore rough looking clothes, empty handed. They definitely gave the impression that they were just out for a walk. But at this time of day, two adults wandering around without a purpose, it was enough to raise questions. But more than anything else, those eyes. They weren't chit-chatting while walking. They were both silent, heading forward, looking in my direction. I was at the end of my rope and finally started imagining. Was I finally at the end of my rope and finally imagining things? I should run away. That was probably the best choice. If they were involved, I'd lose them easily by running. If they were part of the group after me, then they would come running after me. Either way, unless I hurried up, Rena would catch up with me. That's right, I'm going to run. Deciding that, the moment I began to turn tail, both of them rushed towards me, as if they knew exactly what I was thinking. Somewhere inside me, I had jumped to the conclusion that Rena was the only thing I needed to be afraid of. I made the assumption that I didn't need to fear anything else. But right now I realize how blatantly wrong I was. Suddenly, the story Oishi-san told me about the demons leaving all the village, all the demons leaving the village to hunt prey floated through the back of my mind. I could tell they were both coming after me without even turning around because of their frantic footsteps. I was frightened. It was frightening, being unable to shake Rena off as she slowly closed in on me, but this didn't even compare. Being pursued with such violent ferocity? This was straightforward horror. Was unparalleled. One of their pursuers' arms grazed my shoulder. Now it wasn't just their frenzied footsteps, but also distinct sound of their breath that I could hear. No, I could practically feel them breathing on me. They were already right behind me. Calm down, Kaiichi Mirabaro. Still running at full tilt. I felt the surrounding area go still. No, it felt like time itself had stopped. I turned my head back slightly and froze in that frozen world, realizing how close my pursuers had gotten to me. I couldn't win against the legs of an adult in less than the time it would take to blink twice. When this frozen time began moving, they'd be right on top of me. On top of me, and then... Don't think about that, Kaiichi. First, realize that you won't be able to shake them off like this. If the fact you can't get away was a given, then you need to make a decision. Go with the right leg or go with the left. You just need to decide which one. Let's go with the left. The moment I decide, the temporary singularity bursts into pieces. Right, left. I swung the bat in a wide arc with my right arm. Using that inertia, I stopped and suddenly spun. What? The two of them were certainly startled. Momentarily losing sight of me, both of them were outstretched arms. ready to grab me, instead grasps at empty space. The man on the right, I applaud him for being able to figure it out, spun around and spot to spot I shouldn't have been. Spun around to a spot I shouldn't have been, and faced me in astonishment. But it was too late. I didn't need to swing my bat. All I needed to do was extend my arms as I turned around. It was by no means a heavy blow, but it seemed like it had enough power behind it to knock him off his feet. But just knocking him down wasn't enough to scare him away. He got back up in no time. Both of them took a fighting stance and were ready to face me. Oh fuck, man. This made me certain they weren't just two people out for a walk. They were clearly after me. It felt much easier, oh god, than dealing with with Brenna. How's it easier? Just by not recognizing their faces, by not knowing them, it made things easier. I smiled wearily on the inside. What do you want with me? Next one is going to be right in your face, you bastard. It's fine if it was just a bluff. It's fine if it was just a bluff. By barking out at them, I was able to fire myself up. They didn't respond. They spread out to each other, to either side of me, with unbelievable calm expressions on their faces. One of them would grab onto my bat, and the other would hold me down. Was that their plan? Taking on both of them at once would be impossible. Hot sweat poured from every pore in my body. Even then... No, well, fuck. I'm in my brain there. Then I'd just have to settle with the first move. I'd step in and strike the first one down, narrowing my target down to the man on the right, who had already been knocked down before. I stepped in and swung with all my might. There was no way for an unarmed man to guard against it, and it would cause immense damage. If they blocked it with their arm, their bones would snap like a twig. If they turned their back, then it would be possible that the blow would travel all the way to their vital organs. Ooh. It looked like he was aware of this. He pushed farther, though, to the killing zone between us, and delivered a fist right into my gut. Not good. With this distance, in this position, and in this state, there was no way for me to dodge it. Ooh. The world flipped upside down, and I understood that I was being tossed around like a rag doll. I landed on the soft earth without a sound, feeling the grainy soil press against my face. It didn't hurt at all. But that moment I thought that I suddenly felt pain coming from my abrasions on my skin, as well as the contents of my stomach being forced upwards, flooding my mouth with bitter sensation. I knew very well that I didn't have time to relish this experience.
I stood up quickly as I could, but at that moment the other man was already barreling towards me. Being able to comprehend calmly that I simply couldn't dodge it made it all the more upsetting. After plowing into my stomach full force, once again, my assailant twisted around behind me and locked his thick arm around my neck. My throat felt like it was being crushed by his immense strength. I couldn't even uh, contemplate, there we go, that I was being strangled or that I was about to go unconscious. My vision simply darkened, and a silent whining noise began playing deep inside my mind. It took everything I had to keep myself from blacking out. While this was happening, the other man was more than likely standing in front of me. I wasn't able to open my eyes, but I could feel that he was there. There was nothing I could do now. Ooh. Unable to shake his arm off me, I couldn't run, I couldn't fight back. Dire status, dire stats, dire straits, what the fuck? I am super tired from reading dire straits. I couldn't even come up with that phrase that adequately described my situation. What? A familiar ceiling. What? The smell of bed and pillows. I knew them well. Was this my room? Normally there would be anyone in my there wouldn't be anyone in my room besides me, but their presence made me spring wide awake. When did I what did I when I did that, pain shot through my entire body.
Feeling all right? I think you'd be better just lie down for a bit.
Why did Rena why was Rena in my room? Blood began to surge through my muscle in my capillaries. But Rena's smile belonged to Rena. Belonged to the Rena I knew well. I knew I shouldn't let myself feel this way, but I relaxed, thinking that this is the version Rena was safe. Why am I here?
Don't you remember?
I was losing consciousness, nothing at all. My body had become more lethargic than I could ever have imagined. I guess that would be the expected outcome after exerting everything I had back there. Tried to at least clear my head, but I just couldn't shake this sluggish feeling out of my mind.
I called the doctor. He should be here soon. I think you'd better just lie down until then.
I wasn't injured seriously enough to merit calling a doctor. Oh, cool. But knowing that someone impartial was coming was slightly reassuring. Why am I here? I'm sure I was at the dam site. That's what I want to know. What happened? When I got there, Kaiichi was already passed out. What? That's why I'm the one who wants to know. I was attacked by two weirdos. As I talked about it, I finally remembered what happened right before I passed out. I recalled that memory and the terror that went along with it caused the fogginess around my head to clear right up. Let's forget about those two for now. I didn't expect Rena to be nursing me. I thought Rena was trying to kill me. She would have had the perfect chance while I was unconscious. Not only did she not kill me, she had nursed me back to health. Amazing you could drag me all the way back here. Wasn't I heavy? Looking at Rena's delicate frame, it was hard to believe that she had not only gotten me back home, but even dragged me all the way up to the second floor. Did she have some help? Don't you remember, Keiji-kun? Right. Reina appeared a bit surprised, but still kept her smile. I only propped you up on my shoulder. You said you could walk on your own and that you were fine. You don't remember? I didn't remember. I remember it was fuzzy. After that, the point where I got lost in consciousness. What about those two? Huh? When you got there, Rena, the ones with me, or rather those two guys, there wasn't anyone. She said it bluntly. The way she stated it, it felt slightly unpleasant. I was too timid at the time. I might have been able to force some answers out of Rena, but if I did that, then this kind of Rena might transform into the crazy Rena who I didn't know. Fearing that, I didn't press on for any further. Thinking about it, it was the obvious choice. If both of those men were there, I don't think Rena would even have stood a chance. I couldn't find a way to explain it unless I assume she brought me here after those two were already gone. Rena was still smiling. Her eyes sparkled warmly. Yet, I felt like I was hallucinating when I saw something akin to a shadow slowly creeping across her face. A small omen sent shivers down my spine. While Rena was still Rena, I needed to make contact. Whoosh. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. I need to make contact with Oishi. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, guys. I'm actually going to stop right here. So, sorry, but I'm not actually feeling too well right now. Yeah, so I'm just going to save here and... Yeah, and I'll continue chapter 12 at a later time. Alright, see ya.